3. Biscuit. Testing my new setup, guys. Works. I need a second monitor so I can have OBS. This is OBS, by the way, the broadcasting software. Just want to check that it's all working correctly. Turn the music down there. Seems to be working quite smooth. I might have to move this up. Cross a little. Classic spot. I'll be back. I'm just gonna add an image. Starting soon image. Okay. Browse. Flashes that I've had over the screen before. Here we go. Starting soon. Add that in. Okay. Like that. Turn that on and off if needed. Cool. I'll be back. Gonna hang out in my washing. And I'll jump back in and do a bit of an analysis of the market, of what I reckon's going on. But hang in there, I'll be back. I might even just put it on the Bitcoin chart while I'm hanging out my washing, and I'll be back. The washing machine's screaming at me. It's like, peg it out. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me put it on this screen here. That one. I'll turn my webcam off because that's a bit awkward. Okay. You're all set, YouTube. Enjoy. I'll be back and I'll be tweaking this stream up a bit just because I need to like reset how I want the stream to look. It's pretty close to how it was. It's just a few little bits and pieces that I need to tweak. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I think that's working now. Now it's showing me on this screen. The other one, hang on a minute, I gotta fix that up. So this monitor here, properties, display, this one. Hey, figured it out. Okay. Checking if let us know if you guys can hear me as well. Price to be like above where the clip is. Yeah, like right there. Finding where the border of my webcam is. It's like probably like move it across a bit. How's that? Alright, that's good enough. You know what, we'll work with that. Lock that in. Touch. And something, oh sweet, thank you. Where is Rick making a stinky? Good to see you, Sincere. What's up, Vivamort, Sean, Buddy Langford, Sheriff Demars, Bort Sampson. Where is Pisket? I don't know, where is Pisket? Is my voice low? Like lower than usual? I don't know. And what's up, MSJS? This is somewhat... I've upgraded to Windows 11 recently, and I like went through the whole process of reformatting my computer and all that shit, so... And then I had to go through and like try and make Windows 11 look a bit and feel more like Windows 10. So that was fun. And it's finally up to speed with where I can find everything, and I've got everything installed that's necessary to stream off. I think the last time I was, like the last few times I've been streaming, I've had the webcam on top of the monitor that I use TradingView on, so it looks like more I'm looking at the monitor or at you guys when I'm speaking, but that's cool, that doesn't really matter. I'll just carry on with this the way it is for now. So I think that's pretty much looking okay. Price can go about there. See the price. So what's happened over the last couple of days or weeks? I think the last time I streamed was like in late July. So I'm gonna open up and put on the levels. So I've got levels on price and then key levels as well. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go out to the daily chart, and I want to show you guys like the pattern that we were in the whole time before this like correction that we've had, this little downtrend. So I'm gonna take them back off, and you can see since like here's the start of this year, right there, 2023 January, explosive start to the year, awesome. FTX crash right there. Let me just change the color. It's a bit dramatic being red. There's the FTX crash, consolidation, and then the new year has just been great. Like lots of action, not just in Bitcoin, obviously the alts as well. But the whole time, like since, you know, June, July, we have fallen into this like angular resistance at the top. And then there's also a rising support at the bottom. So we've got a bit of a rising wedge situation happening. And we've just dropped out of it. We've just dropped out as, you know, what is naturally expected from a rising wedge, right? And you can see a similar thing happened on the falling side last year. We had ourselves a falling wedge right here. So it was just here, and on the support side too, you had dramatic off, so I can drag it around. There we go. On the support side, we had something like that. So we had lows falling and then highs falling. Now the highs were falling at a faster rate, like so the highs coming in, which give us that style of pattern, that trend of the falling wedge, which we know overall is a bullish pattern. And what happened? We got a bullish outcome from that. We broke out of it, and then here we are. Like, you know, we got the market up to like almost 32,000, or pretty much 32,000. And yeah, it's just another part of a pattern playing out. Let me show you also the market structure that we're dealing with on Bitcoin. So let me just draw it like brand new for you. Now I'm going to delete this old range too, because that's done and dusted. So that was like the sell side of this range. This was the buy side. We've fallen through the buy side, so that range is now finished, that rectangle, and we're now looking for what the next consolidation is, basically. So I'll delete that. We don't need that level or that level. Make it a lot clearer. So from a macro perspective, let's go to like the weekly chart. You can see we've got a bunch of activity off the 30k level, 30, 32 roughly, even 28. Like it's basically a zone of support and resistance. Now if I draw a line, let's call it say 32. So it's roughly finding which one has the highest. Like, we pretty much tagged it recently. I'll make that a different color just so you can see it. That's 32,000. Okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot of activity through it and above it, so, you know, below it and beyond it. But I think 32 is like the, you know, the line in the sand at the moment. There is some action at 28, I believe, 28.9, 29k. Like, I just want to draw that out too, because that's like the, so if you think of it as like the top part of the resistance, the bottom part, it's a resistance zone. So we've been trying to break through it recently and just meeting resistance. It's very tough to get through these parts that we've, you know, had activity off before. There was even a bounce, a very positive bounce here, but we lost it eventually. So yeah, resistance. We're just not there yet. We don't have the energy to break through that resistance just yet. Now on the support side, what do we have? We've got the 2019 high, which was 14k. That was the highest it got. So that is a resistance of 14,000 roughly. 13,970 on this chart. But so that deserves another line here. Put that in. Let's make it like and we've got the low of last year very close to that, not quite. It was actually a bit higher. I think a lot of people probably saw, like a lot of you know, market makers saw that level from 2019 as a point of significance, you know, and they were using that as, you know, a point to start catching the price in the crash. Like, so we had the crash here, and there has to be a point on the chart where things start to turn around, and I think that zone there was like the support side. So that's another key level to me. So we've got one here, key level here, and then we've got a key level down here. And we're sort of stuck in the middle. We're trapped. And I feel like the rest of this year is going to be us trapped between those two zones. I don't know. I don't claim to know like where it's going to find support and then recover. Like you can make guesses based off market structure, but you know, maybe we've even seen the bottom now, like on the smaller time frame, like because I'm on the weekly right now. But as far as structure goes, it is still, it's actually very close to being on the fence of breaking structure and basically killing all of that uptrend from this year and maybe even correcting back down to these kind of levels here, these kind of levels over here, or even if it gets real bad, you know, revisiting the low of last year, which would be awesome for an investor, like, and even trading's good, as long as there's volatility, right? So from this position though, I think we'd have to go down to a smaller time frame to analyze the structure a bit better. So this is this year. If I go YTD, which is year to date, that puts all of this year on the chart. You can see the 1st of January is right there at the beginning. And here we are. So structure-wise, this year has thrown a move up, and I'm sort of just making it very generalized. A move up, a move down. This is the major pivots that I can see. A move up, a correction, a move up, and now a new correction back down. And we're here, like right now. So have we broken structure? So structure to me lives right here. This is the last point of structure. If you think about structure like building a house, like if you have supports going up, like this is a pillar of support right here. This was a previous pillar right here of support, so it's like a staircase, right? The moment you get lower than the previous support, the previous structure or beam, is when you've broken market structure and you get a change of what's called a change of character. So change of character, chotch. It hasn't happened just yet. It's still technically, we are above this previous low. And that's the position, that's the price level on the chart that I'd be paying attention to the most is, let's see this low, $24,800. That's a very important level to hold if we're gonna retain any of this like uptrend. Crypto's kind of crazy. Like you can see moves that go beyond certain levels to make you think something else, like a bit of a trick or a trap. Like if we get like a bit of this happening and then it was all just fake, like this would freak a lot of people out if we dipped below the structure. Just like back here, this dip here to 20 broke this support here, which would have confused a hell of a lot of people, like thinking that this was just some kind of you know, liquidity grab or like short squeeze or, you know, bull trap, because it got back to a downtrend at that point. It broke structure, it changed the character, but lo and behold, it only took a few days to bring it right back up again and retain that uptrend on a higher time frame. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. This resistance proving to be very tough. I think most people can agree on that. It's not very complicated to see that. It's an area of a lot of macro action off that level. So, you know, being rejected by it in the year after the bear market is kind of normal. Like that's natural. Look at this one. Look at what we dealt with in the 2018 bull market. We hit a high of $20,000. That was a very big level for Bitcoin, and still is. It's still significant because you can see in the future we reacted off it here when we were on our way up. We were like, we couldn't penetrate it initially, came back down, tried again, failed, and then the third attempt finally broke through it, and that's what basically confirmed the bull market pretty much. I mean, it already started back here. You had higher lows over time after the COVID dip. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, we had that $20,000 all-time high level. The bear market followed that. We had a consolidation and then a bear market rally slash a bull trend. It was like, it's kind of like people argue whether that was the start of the bull market or not. But anyway, we met resistance at 14K, didn't get any higher that entire year. So this is 2019 here, this box. So we came up and then spent the rest of the year recovering or like retracing off that high. That could very much be what we're seeing this year too. You know, we may have seen the top for this year already set in, and that is roughly $32,000. And then we might spend the rest of this year correcting down to a certain level, or even, you know, flattening out. Like, it just depends, you know, what the world throws at us, like what the economy throws at us, that kind of thing. But yeah, the back end of the bullishness of 2019 was very choppy and bearish. Like it downtrended, and was not able to reclaim new highs. It was a bit of a double top here, and yeah, then we had the COVID thing, which no one saw coming really, especially from like back here. You don't see something like that happening or coming. It just happens, a black swan event. So yeah, if you use some kind of like fractal on that. I'm not massive on fractals, but if you want to do that, let's do that. Let's put all of 2019, which starts roughly here, and then you grab it to like here, the 31st of December. That's 12 months of price action. And if you put that, and like, so you basically get the same timing. So to like here, see the timing matches up a bit. In 2019, we reached a high here, and in 2023, we reached a high here. The timing's roughly similar. Different pattern, the way up, but very similar timing to where we hit our highs. And then the recovery happened for the rest of the year. 6 months. 6 months of just retracement. However, we didn't hit a new low in that 2019 situation. You know, it was close with that COVID drop, but we still maintained a higher low by a few $100 or 1,000 or whatever it was. And so let's do a bit of a stretch on the activity, keeping the timing the same, but the price, try and fit the price action. Maybe we get something like that, you know? Maybe the rest of the year is supposed to be something like this, and it throws us down to a low of around $20,000. Like, you know, that could happen, totally. That would be actually a really good opportunity. If you're an investor, if you're investing or doing a long-term play, like say 3 years, or you're doing a cycle play, like you're buying through the accumulation, and then your plan is to distribute at the top of the next bull run, like whenever that may be. Like, a lot of people think, like, there's a big narrative out there that a lot of people sort of subscribe to, that is that you get a bull market after the halving. And that seems to be what's happened with Bitcoin. Every halving, it kicks off or is within the start of a new bull run, bull cycle. So you get basically new all-time highs post-halving, like, you know, maybe 12 to 18 months after the halving, you get new highs. So I think a lot of people would probably trying to play that play, or make that play. So there's still plenty of time between then and between now and then. So I don't think you've missed out on some great plays to make for the future. Um, the lower the better, honestly. Like that's the way I'm seeing it. Is I've just got this. There's this new system. Sorry. With YouTube, it's like saying ads will run shortly for some viewers. I'll hit skip ads so that you guys don't have to sit through an ad. That was coming up though, so I'll skip it. But yeah, look, it's corrected down to this level here. Can you see the theme there? Look what's happened the last couple of times. Like that purple line that we're dealing with there has been resistance here, support here, and then look where the recent crash wicked down to, roughly the same level. Like it may not be done yet. We may get another day where we test that line like properly. But so far that line looks like it's pretty much testing out right now, and we're just waiting to see how it unfolds. Like that's pretty much what the game is right now. Sorry to bore you, but I'm going to look at inflation, trueflation. We'll see if that's got anything interesting. So trueflation's actually saying that inflation's on a climb again. We're actually back up to 2.61% after, I'll zoom in on it. They recorded a low of 2.09%, or over here it says 2.08%. So it's done a lot of inflating in the last couple of weeks, which is kind of concerning, you know? Very strange though, because the interest rates are up really high right now. They're higher than they've been since 2001 or something like that, roughly. Like 20 years. They haven't been this high in 20 years. So we'll see how that all unfolds. Hopefully it's on a path to improvement, but that is a headwind. That's something I look at, and a lot of people look at, or I've learned to look at that. As we all probably have, is, you know, what CPI is doing, what the Fed's doing with interest rates, and how that kind of affects the broader market, not just crypto, but obviously the stock market primarily. And we know that if I open up a SPY chart, the S&P 500, that you'll see it has also been correcting over the past few days. And yeah, if the SPY's doing anything negative, you best believe crypto is going to be doing a negative thing too, because it's kind of correlated. If I just do a comparison, let's add in the Bitcoin line, Bitcoin US dollar. We'll just do the index, new price scale. So there you are. So as the stock market has climbed off the low, off the bear market, Bitcoin did a similar thing. Like it went up to, it hit a top here. Bitcoin hit its top a little sooner than that over here. So the stock market saw like another couple of bullish weeks, and Bitcoin was already starting to fade. I think that was off the back of all the Gary Gensler drama, like, you know, threatening Coinbase and whatever. Like there's always a new story, a new chapter with that guy, with the SEC, like chasing after crypto. But yeah, you can see that the stock market and, well, crypto is heavily correlated with the stock market, I feel, still. And it's not a perfect correlation, but it's the sentiment, right? People are bearish in the stock market. People are going to be certainly running out the door in crypto. There are moments, of course, there's like exceptions, but it's not the rule. Like, it seems to be the rule, or the trend is that crypto correlates with the stock market. Obviously, there's days where it outperforms or does something different, but on average, that's what you get. That tab. Rick, do people have French cars in Australia? I think so. It's not common, but yeah, I think, yeah, there'd be a few kicking around. We have Italian cars like Fiat. I think Fiat's Italian, isn't it? Peugeot. Peugeot is French. Yeah, I've seen Peugeots driving around, but I'm sure there's a lot of other French car manufacturers don't really see in Australia that are out there. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. We're sort of just waiting to see how this behaves. I can see a scenario where this is the turning point, and we start a climb. But honestly, it's gonna be up to the stock market as to whether this has permission to move it back up again. You know what I mean? We've seen violent recoveries before. Like, look at this one. We did a crash, and look at the recovery was faster than the crash. So we did a crash here. The recovery could be violent, you know? So we'll see. We'll just have to see what happens. I don't think we're going to get a very sharp recovery with the stock market downtrending like it is. I think we're more likely going to become a lot more choppy and like fighting to regain volume. Like, volume's going to drop out. People are going to get disinterested in crypto for a while again, I think. Maybe something like this, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And then there's going to be a point where we have to go, okay, we've hit 20,000 maybe. And then, oh, we've started a new year, 2024, the year of the halving. And then new bullishness comes out with all different narrative play. You know what I mean? Something like that could happen very much. I think it's less likely, but seeing something like this would be really cool. Reapproaching and testing 14K, like 15.8 or whatever the hell that low was. Yeah, 15.5, 15.5K we'll call it. If we can get a retest of that, that'd be really cool. And even more unlikely, I think, getting a new low, like something lower than 15,000, that would be incredible, but I doubt it. I don't think investors are going to turn their back on Bitcoin below 20K and not buy it, not support it, you know, like not buy it up, because I don't know, I just don't see that scenario. But we'll see what happens. Never say never. I'm by no means does my opinion sway what the market does, but yeah, and same with anyone's opinion. And we can all just, like, the only thing we can do is speculate, and our opinion is as good as an expert's opinion or a complete amateur's opinion, really. It's like, that's how unpredictable crypto can be at times. It's like, you know, because look, I'll tell you why I say that is because around this time here, there were plenty of so-called experts who were saying that we're going lower, and, you know, we got to brace for a recession in the stock market and all the rest of it. And what do we have? This insane recovery. Like, they were completely wrong. And that's experts. That's people that claim to know what's going on. And they obviously had no idea of this. No one was talking about an almost entire complete recovery off the back of the bear market. Like, this move was not predicted or popular at all. People were calling for this, like, more of that, maybe like coming back down to the COVID lows, like just wild lows people were talking about. But anyway, and that's kind of where you should put other people's opinions. You know, that's about as much weight as they hold. It can be completely worthless, useless, misinformation, misguided, uneducated, or like just manipulation in the media. There's plenty of that. So yeah, formulate your own opinions. Lean on technical analysis if you have to. Find something else to, or, you know, even a strategy. Like, if you're not a trader, I'm kind of moving toward investing now, or long-term plays rather than trading. Trading's a bit like more risky. It's a bit more like a gamble. You can do it. It's just you've got to be very disciplined to make sure that your money flow stays positive with gains and losses and all that. It's a lot of work, and you have to sort of to be consistent. I feel like you have to have the time to be able to do it, and that's something I don't have at the moment. I don't have a lot of free time to be able to sit down and like follow a plan and every day and trade it out, and I just don't have the capacity to do that at the moment, unfortunately. But so that's why I've moved more toward like a swing trade, or like I'm trying to do like a more of a cycle play, like accumulate in the uncertainty, just like people did here. There was a lot of uncertainty through here, hell of a lot of uncertainty through here, and fear, a lot of fear through here. But look at how awesome these conditions were for buying and accumulating. Buy, buy, buy. We'll put a big capital A here for accumulate and a big capital D here for distribute. Because you accumulate, you buy it, and then you sell, sell, sell when prices go high in distribution. Distribution, accumulation. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. This whole area, you could put a capital A down here. This whole area could be seen as a big accumulation buying season, start setting you don't hear a lot of videos of people saying accumulate, buy the dip, get ready for the next distribution phase, because it's going to happen. Like, I feel like I mean, if it doesn't happen, it means crypto died entirely, but that's what you do. Like, let me simplify it. If this is a market and this is the trend, where do you put your buys? You put your buys in the dips and you sell the tops. Sell the rips, you buy the dip. Simple. Repeat. If we're down here, what are we expecting? Like that? I don't think. I think there's going to be a cycle. The market is cyclical. It's more risky to bet on this and to be gearing up and preparing for this. It's more risky to do that than to ignore this potential of something happening, like where we get a repeat of our pattern, our market cycle, right? You can bet against the cycle, which is kind of, I don't know, that's kind of like risky. I feel like that's riskier to do. Betting against the cycle, just because you're scared, or like you've been told by experts that there's a recession coming, and who's to say, like, why is a recession necessarily going to cause Bitcoin to fall below 16,000? Like, tell me the mechanics of that. Like, why does it have to fall low? Like, why can't it just go flat? Like, if there's a recession, if the market goes quiet again, won't it just find a floor somewhere and just do nothing and go sideways? Like, I don't see why everyone would part with their Bitcoin just because we're in a recession, Hell of a lot of support here. Hold resistance there. Need I say more? That's a big point as well. This SR level, $20,000. We saw some action off it here. There was a lot of support at 20 here. Got support at 20 over here too. So 20,000 is a pretty big level too. If we crash, if we lose 25, I think we're going to 20. But to see, I think something bad would have to happen to see us punch down below 20. That's what I think. But until then, like, just play it as it comes. Like, you don't have to forecast 18 months down the track. Just all you have to do is play the cycle. Like, we've had a bull market, a bear market, a bull market, a bear market. What's coming next? Just simplify it. Keep it simple. Best to you. Not financial advice. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up anyway. Good to sort of dust off the old streaming software and have have another one, but I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right.